Why does it ask every time? Anyway, we should be live. We are live. I'm watching the thing to check that we have gone live, and we have gone live. Um, so welcome back, everyone, to
Woo!
some more CL Jolyu League. It says week 3, but of course, what that actually means is week 4. Um, we
Mm.
have the final games here from week 4. Not at all scuffed. Not fixing that now. Between two teams in the Ocean League, we've got Team Bruv on one side, so far having only dropped a single game against World Regenesis, our other top team, and we also have Girl, who are sitting just below these two top teams, having, I think, only dropped 2 games, which were both to World Regenesis. So, um, it is a VOD game, so we are going back through the VODs. What do you guys think of these two teams? I should point out I have
Well,
Pineapples here, previously dropout, and we have Peter as well. Um, yeah,
if I look at the teams from both, you can see that uh, girl has chosen to abuse the new champ because nobody fucking knows what she does. Um,
we're not on
so
that
that's gonna
screen
be
yet, but
interesting. That's gonna be interesting to see. Um, but I'm excited to see this game actually because girl, I think, in my opinion, girl's a pretty good team. Bruv is as well, so I'm interesting to see how they will play against each other, how the early game will go, and especially the team fights are going to be really interesting.
yeah, with everything that's currently gone on throughout the league, we do have some different players on the side of Girl. In that top lane, we have Bazooka Bob and we have Taco Tim in the in the jungle. Sorry, Blair. Preston is the mid. Zabator is ADC. Troll Zoe is support. So still mostly the same team with a few players swapped out. Um, yeah. So I think this should be pretty close. So far, Team Bravo have been doing very well. But Girl are a very good team. They just seem to have some sort of particular weakness to World Regenesis. Bazooka Bob is Balyit. Okay, Balyit moving actually into that top lane as opposed to the jungle. Nutty's saying Rip Coral 2020. It's fine. Enough people want to continue it. It can be continued. Just means it won't be as much all on me and Yuria to do it. Um, and maybe we can like step our toes into other bits. But that's not why we're here. We're here for this game. We can actually look at the pick bans for this first game. And yes, I do know that's covering up the Twitch chat, but I didn't have anywhere else good to put it. So we can see that for game 1, um, the first round of bans from the side of Team Bruv was sort of a little bit all over the board. Um, maybe we can
Heavy's
get the
heavy on
Velocity
the
back
bot
in.
lane though.
Yeah, there was a couple of bans thrown towards that bot lane with the Vayne, with the Morgana. Trollzo, he does like to pull out the Morgana for the first game when they're trying to win. It happens quite often, whereas on the side of Girl, they've banned away a lot of mid laners. We see this happen quite a lot, people wanting to push Skycold down onto the champions that he's less comfortable with, um, mostly taking away the Azir, the Cassio. We've seen before, I believe the Orianna was mostly banned out. Um, Instead, he was picking up. What did he pick up last time? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Cassiopeia. He played Cassiopeia because like he destroyed the other mid laner in that game, so it gets permanent banned every game now.
Yeah, what was he on the
Yeah.
game that they lost? It was
Twisted Fate? Not sure.
no, I don't remember now. You gotta forgive my
Was
memory.
it maybe
It's
Syndra?
I've been up for a long time.
I'm not
I don't
sure.
think it was. I
Yeah.
think it was a new champion. Oh, it was Kale. Kale kept getting banned out. It was
Oh
Kale.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but that was it. This time, Skycall getting his hands on that Oriana. Um, we can't actually see what was picked up in what order. Um, but towards that second round of bans, lots of bans being thrown towards those support positions and a little bit more towards the bottom lane. For the side of Team Bruv, we can see that they did get their hands on that Poppy for Vink. Dark Enclave got the Skarner, and they did get Orianna for Sky Cold. Punky Boy got his Ezreal, definitely something that he likes to play. Strong Ewok is on that Alistair. Meanwhile, for the other side, for Girl, we have an Irelia in the top lane for Bazooka. I'm just going to call him Bazooka unless he wants me to call him something else. He can let me know in chat. Taco Tim, maybe we'll call him TT or Taco. I like Taco. We'll go with Taco.
Taco Tim's
Tac
my boy.
tac Taco on the Evelyn. Preston on the TF, of course, taking Ignite. Never suggest anything different. It's Ignite always. Zabator, though, is using that Tristana, and Troll Zoe pulling out the new champion Rel for her Coral debut. Um, what do you guys think about these two team comps? Is there anything in particular you want to point out? Do you think one team scales particularly well? Does someone have to play more towards this early game? What do you guys think?
Okay, so if TF falls behind in early game, he's kind of just a useless champion, to be honest. Um, but if he gets level 6 with evens, yes, he can influence the side lanes with roams, with the Evelyn, and that should be their win condition, the bot lane and top lane. If they can snowball either Aurelia or Tristana in the early game, they should be able to win. But on Brov's side, they have really safe laners. Alistar and Ezreal should be able to survive, and the same with Poppy. And if they are able to do that, they should just win off scaling, to be honest.
Yeah, the pick potential here for Girl is definitely something else. That map control that the Evelyn provides, and especially that Destiny from the Twisted Fate, means you can suddenly have a four-man anywhere on the map instantly. Um, Whereas on the side of Team Bruv, we see what's more of a sort of traditional team fight. You have three massive frontliners to stand in front of two hyper carry scaling champions. The Ezreal and the Orianna both scaling incredibly well. We do also have that Skarner to pull people back for the Orianna to ult. Um, so yeah, definitely things that they can play around here on both sides. We'll have to see how exactly this game will play out. Anything else you guys would like to say before we move into the game? Oh, and predictions. Who do you think will take this game one?
I would love to see Bruv lose this 2-0. Just because Bruv has only lost one, and also this is just an underdog story from Girl, so I'm pro Girl. But of course, it doesn't
I
matter
think
who wins in the end. The better team wins.
Peter?
I just think the comp of Brub is more easy. It's easier to execute on. They just need to go even in lane, and then they should just be able to roll down mid lane and win. And if Girl pulls off this comp perfectly, they should just win. There should be no counterplay, but it's really difficult to do that. So it's most likely Bros Gamer.
There we go. If Girl can execute their comp, they would be favourites. But it's whether you believe that Girl are going to be able to execute on this comp well. So we'll move towards this game. Have I clicked on the right screen there? No, I have not. This is the screen that I meant to click on. Not at all terrible in any way. And can both of you see my screen? Is that all good?
I,
You,
I can, yeah, I can.
it is a VOD game. Usually we would have everyone just load the VOD and sync it up together, but for the sake of I'm already sharing it to Pineapples and to speed things up a little bit, I'm just doing it for them both. Peter, can you see? All good?
Yep.
Yes.
It's all good.
Cool. And then we'll head into this game one. Of course, I haven't moved the chat because I don't know how to move the chat in the new thing. We do have the new champion here, so we haven't got to talk a lot about the new champion. Have you guys seen her being played? Have you played her? Do you think she's good, bad? What are your
I've
guys'
played
thoughts?
her. I've played her like 8 games now, I think. And I think her damage in lane, she's difficult to pull off. Because if you miss your W, you don't really have anywhere to go. So with champions like Trash, you can just E him away like with CC. I think she's actually one of the most balanced champions that Riot has released in a couple of times.
Quite a few months. Not be too surprised. When I was looking at her, I thought she seemed quite sort of either going to be underpowered or fine. But here we go, there's an engage already towards this bottom side. The CC goes down straight onto Punky Boy, and that first blood is picked up into the pockets of Troll Zoe. Not exactly who you'd want it on, but of course you'll take that kill onto anyone. Free first blood here for the side of Girl. Already putting to practice what they want to use later in this game.
What people don't realize about Rel's W is that at the end of the W, she still slides. So every part of her W knocks up. So it's very important that you move out of the way even though she's still sliding.
Yep, so we see here both junglers are starting towards the bottom side, so we might see a bit more of this pressure towards the top side of the map with those early ganks. In this mid lane, Sky Cold making good use of the auto attacks and the Orianna ball to put a little bit of pressure down onto Preston.
Yeah, the Doran's Blade start from Ezreal is interesting. So he will get his Monument later, but he will at least have some lane pressure against this strong 2v2.
Yeah, it definitely gives him a bit more of that lane pressure. You can see some hard trades coming down in that top lane. Nothing really coming out from it in the end. Sky Cold getting a lot of pressure in that mid. Level 2 is hit first by the bottom lane of Girl. They're just going to slowly push this wave in. It will be interesting to see if they choose to continually push this or not.
I'm glad that it's finally not a potato matchup in top lane. It's
yes, we have a little bit of a skill matchup.
Yeah, Ocean Bracket. I've seen a lot of tanks 1v1ing top, so it's good to see something different.
Irelia into Poppy very much early on. It should be slightly Poppy favored just because of how much damage you can put down with your Q, especially with the poke. But as we get towards that later and Irelia starts to get in the items, you would imagine Irelia would start to win these extended trades, especially when she starts to get lifesteal.
The good thing about Poppy is though that she can block the
stun coming out in this bot lane from Girl. Ewok just using his W there to disengage. See, Bazooka Bob actually gets stunned into the wall. Vink is putting a lot of damage down, less than 100 health, 50 health, just an auto attack to pick that up. But there's an engage in this bot lane as well. Zabator jumps in, is knocked backwards into the tower, takes a turret shot, exhaust is thrown down onto Ewok. But there's just not enough damage from either side here to finish anyone off. Most people being left on about 300 health, Punky on full health. There is also a fight towards this top lane. Darken being caught out, but will just flash over that wall to get away. Preston flashes forwards with the gold card. Sky Cold flashing into Bazooka. They're trying to put down the damage they can. They want to fight this. Vink is coming in, but Darkenclave is very low. Just over 100 health now. Taco Tim does miss the charm, does pick it up eventually to pick up that kill as well. Flash forwards from Vink, he does not get the stun. The Q goes down, he picks up one more kill. They're trying to do what damage they can, but now maybe Bazooka Bob does get the both Qs there and more kills picked up for the side of Girl. Ends up being the 3-for-1. Big win there from the side of Girl. Team Bruv just not realizing how behind they were in that play.
I think that was really good map rotation from Girl right there. They all knew what they were doing. They were all committing, so I think that was a good part on them. I also think it's very interesting about this bot lane is the combo that Vrel and Tristana have. If Tristana W's in, like Vrel can stun with the E, so it's actually quite a good combo. I haven't really seen something like this before with her.
Yeah, the big problem here for the bot lane is that Tristana auto pushes with her passive and has no flash, so she's really vulnerable. So Evelyn almost has to stay bot lane now, and maybe she will fall behind in CS because of it.
Yeah, I would think actually that the bot lane Tristana Rel is fairly safe, should be fairly hard for them to get engaged upon. As long as you know Skarner's not towards that 6 level, I think they should be able to get out of most ganks pretty easily. It's when those junglers start getting that level 6 that they really have to be careful. More trades just coming out in this top lane. We can see that actually there is a 1,500 gold advantage right now for the side of Girl. If we want to look at where that gold is, it's sort of spread out all along the top side of the map. small advantages for everyone. And of course, that first blood onto Troll Zoe has put him about 400 gold ahead. There is double buffs on Preston in this mid lane, so that TF extremely happy. 6 hit,
I think
5
it's
super
very
pop.
hard for I think it's very hard for Oriana to lane against Twisted Fate with dual buffs. So he
Yeah, the
should
double buffs is
actually look to move to do some plays round about now because he is 6 actually.
good from
So he
Dark
should
Enclave to
probably
move up here for that gank, but it was just a little bit too late. Irelia had already cleared the wave out and was moving backwards. Needed to be there 10 or so seconds before. Here we can see the power of Girls Comp. You've got the Evelyn hiding. You've got the Irelia just there, and TF is hovering where he can use Destiny to get to the lane and make this a 3v1. 6 is hit as well by Evelyn.
I'm actually curious if they are going to dive her or not.
Yep, easy
Yes,
dive.
they are. I think
Things
it's funny
does
because
use
I
that
said this
W,
before.
which
Cancels out
but
the
is
Q
engaged in this
from
mid lane.
where
The stun actually does go down. Ignite thrown down by Preston. Sky Cold on just about 100 health. Troll Zoe taken very low, tries to flash away, but that is a tower shot. You can't flash away from that. And it will be the 1-for-1 trade. But a slight advantage to Girl. They get the assist gold. And also Preston will get to push that in and probably force out Sky Cold's TP. There it is.
Yeah, that's really big when versus TF. If you don't have TP, it's
Did
really difficult to match him.
TF use his ult back in lane, or did he just use it for no reason? I saw a TF ult there.
I think he
Yeah.
might have just used it for the vision. The interesting usage, but you know what? It's not the worst thing.
It
That's
does
something we
stop
hadn't
the
pointed out
slow from
before.
Girl though.
I was gonna say, just to say, we have exhaust on Tristana, so very much two hard combat summoners.
It's quite common these days to get exhaust instead of heal, because a lot of people tend to have ignite, and so this isn't viable anymore. Interesting to see that Team Bruv actually is doing the Drake here.
Yeah, they just
They've
take that
decided to
Drake
focus.
away. Strong Ewok is taken down, was only level 5, did not have access to that ultimate, but Team Bruv now are just caught out. Dark Enclave left pretty much on his own, will be the sacrificial lamb. That's just another kill going into the pockets of Girl. Onto Zabator, that is who you want to put it on. Spread it across your carries a little bit. And definitely not going too well for Team Bruv right now. They trade a Cloud Drake for 2 kills. And there's the engage onto Punky Boy. He will just about stay alive using that flash to get away, out as well as the heal. Evelyn's ultimate was not yet off of cooldown, which is why he was able to get out of that. We actually found out why that ultimate was used. It was to check the dragon vision. So choosing to use it more for that information, and just to check what exactly was happening.
Yeah, but then they lost Dragon anyway, so...
It was only a Cloud Drake though, so not too bad by any means. Bazooka Bob does actually use the Q aggressively there onto Vink. Has thrown the ultimate down, but he's in the 1v2. He's stunned up, 200 health left, suppressed, and there is the death.
He couldn't do anything there. He was just in a giant CC chain.
I'm not sure the Skarner ultimate was needed. Preston's actually coming in here. We'll search for Vink, but don't think he'll find him. He puts the ward down into the wrong
Almost
bush.
had him.
Checks all the other bushes, but not the one that is needed. Looks like we could see a gank in this mid lane. Taco Tim is walking in. Preston on the way back down will run into Dark Enclave and Sky Cold, but these two could be caught out here in the 2v3. They're putting what damage they can onto Preston, but there's a flash forwards into the insta-kill. Sky Cold going down. That's another kill. Going to the side of Girl. 9-4. 3,000 gold advantage right now.
He should not underestimate Evelyn damage, especially if she has Night Harvester.
So what I want to ask
The
now is,
burst-
Peter, are Girl playing their comp well? You said they needed to play this comp well to be able to win the game. Is this what you're expecting or hoping to see from them?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna interrupt you
to
because
want
there is the
to-
engage in the bot lane, which results in Ezreal going down. I'm gonna just dive onto strong Ewok. He tries to get away, does use the ultimate and the flash to get out of that. But yes, how do you feel they're playing this comp so far?
Yeah, so it was scary in the early game for them because Irelia died in a 1v1. But the thing is, Team Bruv kind of threw the lead they had by going for that 3v3 fight in the top lane. And the big difference maker there was that Irelia actually TP'd in while Poppy came in with about 30% HP, which just gave the girl a snowball. A way to snowball this game where they had to, so it was just
Oh, top lane
unnecessary.
flash actually forced out from Bazooka. Bob, there's an engage into the bot lane. Cholzo trying to get out, does sidestep Punky Boy's ultimate. Both Sky Cold and Punky Boy are here, but they did not have enough damage to take this rel out. Zabator is quite low. Takatim going back on into Sky Cold. He has to flash away. He's too scared about that ultimate. Of course, it was not actually there. Suppression used.
Quite risky for Evelyn going in here without his ult.
Taco Tim is extremely low and is seen right now as just another a kill put down into the pockets of the Ezreal. That's who you want it on. Get a bit of that gold lead back into your own pockets. Something I do want to point out, which is really nice, is you actually see the anti-heal being picked up by Vink here early on against the Irelia. A lot of people don't know to do that. Just, if you're into an Irelia, get your anti-heal early. That's all I'll say for you. You really need it if you're ever going to fight her.
I think if you see this anti-heal, I think it's better to just buy Triforce or the other item. But I think Triforce is better. The other Sheen item, but I think.
Trollzoi forced a flash, did not have the horse up, and walked straight towards Skarner.
This is what I've said before.
Oh,
if
Takatim's in
misses
behind
her
Sky
W,
Cold. Does miss the initial Q, but flash forward from pressing into the stun. Not much you can do there. When Evelyn has this ultimate up and the TF is alive, the combination is just absolutely brutal. You can see the the next Drake spawning is an Earth Drake in about 10 seconds. Cloud Drake was the first one. So we're looking at either the Ocean Soul or Infernal Soul, both of which could be massive towards this game. Obviously, if you're the side of girl, I think you're probably more inclined to want this Infernal Soul right now. A lot of your team is very bursty. You want to just burst someone down very quickly, whereas if you're the side of Team Bruv, you want that Ocean Soul to just try and keep your members alive for as long as possible. The extra burst is not going to give you too much, but all of the healing that will come out of that Ocean Soul will be absolutely invaluable if you could get it. We have gone to Infernal Soul, so slightly more fortunate for the side of girl. Getting the soul that will benefit their team slightly more. Of course, it all just comes down to who's able to actually get it.
Yeah, the thing here is that the fact that Bruv got the first Drake against the Snowball comp is really huge because
That's
well,
extra 5 minutes.
yeah, exactly. That's extra 5 minutes for them to scale up before the last dragon fight.
Oh, but they're
and that's
going
why
on to Preston.
really...
Both of the ultimates used. Stun put down. That's a shutdown into the pockets of Orianna. Not a massive shutdown, but everything at this point helps.
Interesting to see that Taco Tim stays bot instead of doing the Rift Herald. Because I think Aurelia was pushed in and EF could
Yeah,
always
with the...
ult.
Oh, there's a miss there on the charge. Vink is extremely low now. Bazooka Bob is just going to run him down. The stun comes out. He's down. And they'll walk off the Dark Enclave as well. Ignite was thrown onto him, but won't really do too much. Taco Tim right now behind the bot lane. Stun down onto Punky. That's so much damage. He does manage to stay alive using that heal, but Zavatore just jumps in to finish him off. Ewok now very low. Does use the ultimate to just stop most of that last bit of damage. Taco Tim just interrupting the back there. We see the power of the Evelyn. It's basically one-shotting everyone. If Punky had not had the heal up there, he would have been one-shot just by Evelyn.
I think he's looking for a fight in all the minions.
Doing a lot of damage down, but Bazooka Bob is just auto-attacking him to death. The stun comes out, but He should be going down to that. Won't in the end. Preston getting extremely low here. Dark Enclave does manage to pick him up, but will also be taken down in return. Fink is trying to clear out these minions. Bazooka Bob might choose to tower dive him. He pushes him out of the tower's range, so he only takes one shot. But look at that healing from the Irelia. 2 autos, each one healing about 100 health. Bazooka
You
Bob
could also
taking
see
more
big
shots.
CS cap from the top laners. You can see
Yeah,
that the Rayleigh is getting ahead a lot of farm, so it's kind of difficult for Poppy right now to get ahead.
the yeah, when you're playing Poppy, you always usually expect to be down a bit on CS because you're usually left on an island. You know, you should be pretty hard to kill. You tend to leave your Poppy and be like, yeah, you can handle this. It does mean, of course, that Poppy will be a little bit weaker, but tank items generally don't cost as much. So it should be okay. Girl choosing to swap their lanes after having Tristana take that bottom lane. They're sending Saboteur and Troll Zoe up to that top lane. And assumedly Bazooka will be going down towards this bottom lane to just be picking up the farm against Punky and Ewok.
Yeah, this is exactly what I have to do.
Oh, but he's going for the fight here. Does about half of Ewok's health almost instantly. That's a lot of damage. He's going onto it. Ewok's taken incredibly low. Carrot doesn't know where to look at. The stun card comes out from Pestin as well as the Destiny to get in close. Punky Boy's already down. That's 2 down. Looking back at top lane. Not much is happening there. Back to the bottom lane where we can see they're just clearing out minions. This camera is very unsure of where to look today.
Very nice ultimate from Preston right there to catch the Ezreal.
Yeah, and that's just the absolute power. You can't be anywhere if you're on the side of Team Bruv. We can see they do have 2 red trinkets already, but I'd like to see more actually. Because the trinkets are just so important for trying to keep Evelyn at bay. You also need as many control wards as you can realistically get. Ultimates being traded there. Skycold using his in return for the ultimate from Taco. Bazooka Bob using those dashes to get in there and do as much damage as he can. The suppression is brought down onto Taco Tim, but all of the skill shots actually missing. It is taken out in the end, but all of that gold goes onto Ewok's Alistar. That's not who you want the gold on. Arcane shift forward from Punky. He's putting down a little bit of damage, but he's not doing that much. Smite comes out onto Bazooka Bob. But he is just walking away so fast on this Irelia.
I think they actually want to fight here.
They want to take this fight, but I'm not sure they'll win it. Bazooka Bob going back in. Punky has to be very careful that he does not get jumped on because he can definitely be bursted out in this situation. Bazooka jumping forwards.
I think they
Arcane
actually
shift.
win it though, because
Skycold has TP'd in here. He jumps forward onto Preston. He's putting a lot of damage down using those auto attacks. He's going after Preston, takes him out. Bazooka Bob also going down. And that's a kill onto both of the carries for Team Bruv. That is exactly what you want. Meanwhile, mid lane outer tower also going down. Rift Herald being summoned. They're putting down so much pressure here, the side of Girl. They may have lost in the bottom lane, but that's 2 turrets taken out in the mid lane. Punky just pushing that tower without knowing where Evelyn is. Does get taken out. Team Bruv should be able
it's
to pick
never a
up
good
this
decision
dragon.
to walk alone against an Evelyn.
Dark Enclave choosing not to take that dragon, walks straight into Troll Zoe. Troll Zoe trying to get away, uses the W. Ultimate forced from Saboteur.
I think he was scared of the Skarner ult right there.
And you can see that overall, Girl are just winning across the map here, even when the plays don't go well for them. They're just taking multiple towers in return. Those 2 mid lane towers they got, and they're going to actually take this dragon from the pressure that they managed to get off of killing Ezreal.
Dark Enclave was on Drake. I think he could have actually gotten it if he would have stayed on it.
I think so, but he felt the
I'm
need
not
to go towards his
sure,
team.
though.
He knew Evelyn was down towards that bottom lane. Didn't want to risk being just picked off there
That's also
by the
true,
Drake.
yeah.
Not too tanky right now.
I
Currently
think
starting
it's
to go towards
very
that
difficult
assist.
for Bruv to come back, because
Yeah.
Team Girl has some really good scalers, of course. Has 2 Drakes now, so I think it's very difficult. I think the thing Bruv can do right here is look for picks and try to steal objective.
Yeah,
But I don't
Irelia is
think-
at the big power spike. She's got her 2 items.
Yeah.
We've also got Evelyn at level 11, so that ultimate will be up that much more often. It has now finish the Lich Bane as well. So that's double items there. Preston's still working towards that Lich Bane, but as soon as that's done, that is a lot of damage.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's as strong as their comp actually can be. After that, their items will just meaningless. And with Ezreal, every item he completes from now is huge once he gets mana immune, and then Ravenous Hydra, and then that slow armor pen item. It will just make him really strong compared to the other items Girl is gonna get. And
Yeah.
that's why they need to fumble on his Ezreal now, as soon as
Tagotim
possible.
they thought they caught him out there, but actually it's turned around. Trollzo is putting down what damage he can, does use the ultimates to pull them all in, but Rel does not do much damage. Did force a TP.
You could see that she was really hard to kill there, though.
Yeah, I do see Skycold has built the Banshee's Veil, needing that. Oh, they found Vink. Vink on his own in the 1v3, charging the ultimate. Throws Evelyn away, but that's not going to be enough. He's got the stun down. He's putting bits of damage down onto Zabator, but he will get taken out. Yeah, I was going to say, Skycold also, also died there somewhere. Skycold does have the Banshee's Veil. Interesting point about Banshee's Veil. It doesn't work against Evelyn passive. Because of the way it works, when Evelyn uses an ability, and her charm is on you, the charm actually still goes through. The damage from the first ability gets blocked, but the charm happens. It's kind of weird. It feels like it shouldn't happen that way, but it does. 1v3 against Bazooka Bob here, while the rest of Girl are just taking that dragon. I feel like there was no real reason for Ewok to have taken that. They could have probably quite easily given it to the Ezreal. Maybe they just want him to get his mythic as fast as possible, but you really need to get Ezreal strong right now.
Could also be the Bami Cinder, because he's probably going the Righteous Glory type item, the Chem thing.
Yeah,
he's going for Sunfire, it seems like.
Wow.
That's the build path for Sunfire. Okay.
He's finishing his mythic, whatever it is.
Oh,
Yep,
it's
Sunfire.
yeah.
They did choose to go Sunfire in the end.
That's quite weird to see on a support Alistar, to be honest. I don't see that a lot. I see a lot of people just rushing.
He more wants those
Lockhart.
straight up tank stats. Staying alive as much as possible rather than being that engage tool that the Righteous Glory would provide. They've caught Taco Tim here. He's forced to use the ultimate. That last caress being down is quite big. Does take a lot of burst out of Evelyn's kit. Preston putting down a lot of damage there, taking out about half of Skycold's health. Jolyu tries to go in but just gets headbutted away. Meanwhile, Vink has found Taco Tim on the side. Both teams here are just poking each other down. Oh, that damage from Preston. A Q taking out over a third of Punky Boy's health. Flash forwards from Preston and he will get the stun down onto Punky Boy. Lots of damage, but there's no real follow-up. Baron minions are coming in slowly into this bottom lane. Flash forwards from Taco Tim, trying to do what he can, but he takes a lot of damage there. I don't think he quite respected the Orianna and ends up giving up his life. Yeah, not the best. Flash forwards from Dark Enclave. He actually picks up Zabator. A nice stop there with a steadfast presence from Vink's Poppy. They're going now onto Trollzoe, trying to get him down. He's being pulled incredibly low, but not finished off yet. As he goes down, Bazooka Bob is now in the middle of the team, and in that 1v5, he should also get taken down. Does manage to get a lot of damage in. Preston's just going to go for this inhibitor. Will try and walk away the top, but that Poppy has the speed buff from the steadfast presence. Putting down a lot of damage, and Preston is stuck between two towers. Takes one tower shot. He's trying to use the Destiny to get out. He does get slightly away, but a nice, brilliant prediction from Dark Enclave.
Oh, that would have been a really sick escape if we would actually pull it off. You can actually see the kills, kill gap growing closer and closer.
It's growing closer and closer, but it is still a 6,000 gold lead for the side of Girl right now. Of course, this dragon is big, especially if you can deny it from Girl at the moment.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Taco Tim is waiting for his chance. He jumps into the pit and does steal the Drake. He will get over his life. So
Oof.
that is 300 gold, but he does take that Drake, which means that the next Drake, of course, could potentially give Girl that soul.
A very risky play from Taco Tim, but it was very well earned. I think that puts a huge lead on Girl again. If they get the next soul, I think the game's just over.
So
Yeah, the
I
difficult
do
thing for
disagree.
Bruv here is that they lost both their outer mid lane turrets really quickly, so they can't really go into their own jungle without being scared of Evelyn, and that's huge. So you can't contest Dragon if they're all up.
As
Yeah,
you can
so
see,
currently,
Alistar is
I was kind of interested in how much extra resistance this Trollzoi would actually provide. And the person that he's linked up to at the moment will be getting about 20 magic resist and almost 30 armor, which is a lot. That's the power of Rel Locket. Imagine if you had a Taric as well, how much extra
it
armor someone would
yeah,
actually have.
I thought about actually playing Terragrel.
I think Taric Rel would be a disgusting bot lane. And then you could just play 2 carries in the solo lane in the jungle. But, yeah.
I think what Girl needs to do right now is just keep applying pressure, just wait for objectives. If
Yeah, they
they
keep
can
applying pressure,
play
try and
this
pick
slow.
up that bottom inhib to give them the pressure over this Baron. That will be spawning in just over a minute. If they can take that bottom inhib, then the Baron should be pretty much free for them. Tim's waiting to do something onto Vink here, but that is the Poppy. Very tanky, gonna be very hard to kill. Most of Bruv here
Especially
move down
with
towards the bottom lane.
the W canceling the Qs from Irelia.
You can see a lot of damage just being put down into this tower. Girl will pick up that last outer tower. Charm goes down, but not much really from it. Meanwhile, Zabator and Trollzoi just threatening that inhib, constantly putting down little bits of pressure, little bits of damage, chipping it down. And yeah, this is Girl just playing towards two opposite sides of the map at once, splitting up Bruv's comp, which is what you want to do. They're a comp that really wants to stay together so that they can protect those key carries. Baron has worn off, of course.
It's spawning in 7 seconds now, though.
7 seconds.
So they can just leave now and they will probably get it for free because they have the mid inhib gone.
They force Evelyn's ultimate out yet again. They are getting a lot of these ultimates out, which will buy them some pressure on the map. As Evelyn's burst potential is a lot lower, which is nice.
Yeah, Ezreal should get the blue trinket there to get vision on Baron. I don't understand why he hasn't got it yet. And
Yeah.
once he's got the Ravenous Hydra, he should be really strong. And Orianna just got the death cap, so she can one-shot anyone on the enemy team, basically.
Yes.
If she hits her ult.
You
Yeah, they're
see
probably
Girl are
going.
just clearing this Baron vision.
Yeah, they're probably gonna try for Baron soon. You see Aurelia applying the pressure bot lane so they can get a free Baron. That's really good map control from Girl right here.
Well, Irelia has TP. Vink and Skycold do both also have that teleport, so they could go for the 2v1 onto the Aurelia in the bot lane and then still TP up for the Baron pressure. Looks like Girl have chosen to start up this Baron. Team Bruv seem to know they are moving towards. Vink putting this, knocking out this ward. They've spotted the Barons being done. Dark Enclave is waiting to go in here. Looks like he'll go for it. Red team does manage to pick it up. The smite is there from Taco Tim. The fight has broken out, and that's one down already from the side of Team Bruv. Girl are just chasing him down. Lots of damage going down onto Strong Ewok. They'll take him out. They'll take out another one. Meanwhile, Bazooka Bob just in the base, taking out Skycold, eventually dying to the tower, leaving just the Ezreal to try and defend in a 1v4 situation against the Baron. You have to imagine Girl are going to be able to end off of this.
Let's see the quadra kill. Let's see it. The Punky Boy outplay.
With the ultimate back up on the Evelyn, I expect she's just going to sit here, zone Punky Boy away.
Yeah.
It's a lot of damage. Ultimate,
Yeah,
not actually enough to
And
finish him in the
just
tower. That healing was massive, but there's not too much he can do. Has to jump backwards into the fountain to stay alive. Flash forwards, they do take him out. Preston is still alive. Gulla just putting this damage down onto the Nexus. That's one taken out using the Skarner ultimate, but Zabator just keeps hitting that Nexus, and that's game one going over to the side of guys in real life. And how do you guys feel after that game? What do you think?
the underdogs. Ooh.
Gull did win last season.
yeah. No,
But
I think
go
there
on.
were 2 points in this game where Girl just accelerated their lead, or got their lead in the first place. The first part was the 3v3 fight top lane at like level 3 or 4, where Girl got a 3-for-1, which helped snowball both the Twisted Fate and the Evelyn, which just made being in a side lane impossible for Team Brawl. And the second part was when Team Brawl committed 4 people in bot lane and lost 2 mid turrets. That was huge because that made the Evelyn pressure so much uh, bigger, and they couldn't really leave their base without the potential of dying. So that's my
Yeah,
thoughts.
they played their comp very well. They played it the way they needed to, and honestly, I would expect to see some sort of different bans coming out in this game too, just to disallow this kind of comp again from the side of Girl. Um, we'll have to see exactly how that has played out. I will move back to pre-stream, and I think we will still actually have up the teams. There we go. So you can see what was picked and what was bad in game two. Do one of you guys want to run us through that while I get up the second game?
Give me a second. I need to find it. Here it is. As you can see, in the second game, they did ban out the Rel from the Team Bruv side, and they've gone for a quite scaly comp with a lot of engage less disengage. So it's quite an interesting comp from Team Bruv. I think it's very well put together. On the side of Team Girl, on the other hand, they have a lot of mid lane bans as expected. But also they have a much more centered around the early and mid game. So it's interesting to see if Team Bruv can actually hold out till the late game and scale. So what I expect here for this game, if Girl manages to get a lead, they will probably have a good chance of winning. But if the game will start going too long, then I think Team Bruv will have this one.
I think this might be the first Vel'Koz we've seen as well. So there's an interesting one.
All of his picks were banned.
All of his picks were banned. Well, the Kale wasn't, but choosing not to bring out the
Oh
Kale
yeah,
this
Kale
time.
wasn't.
Um,
I think she was nerfed again, wasn't she? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I think this is the patch after Ash got nerfed as well. Well, Ash not nerfed, the item which she was abusing got nerfed. So it'll be interesting to see how strong Ash currently is, or how important she is to this game. I would expect to see maybe some early ganks actually coming out from the side of Team Broth. They do have that Volibear, which is very good at ganking in the early game, so can try and get some of the lanes ahead. We do have that Leona for strong engage towards that bottom lane. Of course, Lulu, an incredibly good champion if you want to win games. So to see how that is yet again in the top lane as well. We do have that Bruiser into tank matchup. Something a bit more anti-tank this time with the Darius. So we'll have to see how that goes. He's actually taken Ghost, wanting to run down the enemy a bit more. Both ADCs actually having Cleanse, which is quite interesting. Cleanse into Leona, very good from the side of Zabator. Punky Boy taking Cleanse. I don't think you can cleanse Lulu Polymorph. You can cleanse Ash Arrow, which is, of course, quite good, and you can cleanse the Syndra Stun.
Yeah, it was probably just for the Ash Arrow.
I'm a
Yeah.
bit surprised I might have thought in this situation you go heal or barrier just for the extra health it would provide into what's going to be a lot of burst from people like Kha'Zix and even the Syndra.
It would make more sense to be honest, but he will be in like he's a really short range ADC into some really high damage carries on the girl side, so it
Yes,
does make sense that he wants to keep attacking in the
late game
fights in the
it
late game.
will save him building that QSS. Oh, let me just, and we'll move on to game 2. Is everything up the right way? Why does it say girl 2? Game, please. Apparently, I don't have my scores set up the correct way around. Interesting. Okay, I need to go back and look at my setup for next time, I guess. Okay. Yep. So as you can see, the two teams here, we have the press the attack on the Vayne, wanting to be a bit more of that damage dealing threat as opposed to getting through lane with something like the fleet footwork. In terms of the rest of everything, there's not too much to point out. We do have Guardian on the Lulu to help keep Troll Zoe alive and potentially someone else on the team. If they get engaged upon Aftershock on the Volibear, just making sure that he has that extra survivability after first going in. But apart from that, nothing much to really point out. I suppose you do have that Conqueror on Kha'Zix.
I think that's very common nowadays, though.
Yeah, it's for when you
The
think there'll be longer fights, longer trades.
I think Volibear should have won something like Conqueror or like more aggressive because you already have the tankiness from the Ornn and the Leona. So I do think they need the
The
damage in the early slash mid game. But
the
probably what Bruv's thought of mind was just to scale really hard, and
I
then
think
for the late game.
I think the Aftershock is a really good early game rune, to be honest. It's good in early skirmishes
That's
because you get so tanky, and he wants to be the one trying to snowball. The other parts of the team are kind of scaling, so he just wants to
Yeah,
survive in fights when they are
personally,
shit with damage.
I would have quite liked to see press the attack. I think it's fairly underrated room when it comes to ganking because what you got to remember is that if you proc it, it does mean that everyone else is going to be doing, I think from level 1 it's 8% more damage to the person you've just procced it on. So
I
I think
think
a
you
lot of
proc it
people do
really fast too.
underestimate just how much extra damage it does. I wonder if we can see in here. We probably can see. Let's have a look. Let's go rune hunting. There we go. Yeah, from level 1, they take 8% more damage from all sources, and it gives you an extra burst of just 40 extra damage. So definitely press the attack. Very strong ganking rune. If you have a champion that's able to easily abuse it, and I think that Volibear is a champion that's quite easily able to abuse press the attack. So I would have quite liked to see it, but there we go. Um, I'm also a little bit surprised maybe about the Conqueror, but who was MVP first game? Actually, yeah, guys, before we move on to this game, who would you give MVP to? Is there anyone in particular that shun? That sh that was
I
shining
think
for you?
I think Taco Tim played really well, Nevelin. The Dragon Steel was very nice. He applied a lot of pressure. He did his job as an Evelyn, so I think the MVP should go to Taco Tim.
I think also he was basically everywhere in the early game as well, and helped snowball on a more unconventional roaming champion. Even TF is made to roam. I don't think Rel is like the usual roaming support. It's more a kill lane, and that's why I got kind of surprised that he was put on Lulu in this game when he had such a good melee engage game last game. But
Yep. Cool. There you go. In chat, if you want to give somebody the MVP, shout it out. Let them know, because we don't have polls or anything here, because I've not set all of that up. But anyway, we'll move on to this game, game 2, and we'll see how this final game plays out between the side of Team Bruv on the red side and guys in real life on the blue side. And
I
as we
think
load
girls.
into
I think
game,
uh,
anything you guys really expect to see from this early game?
As I've mentioned before, it's probably going to be that Girl will be an advantage in the early lane. Darius is very strong against tanks. I also think the pressure from Syndra early is also pretty great. Kha'Zix is also a champ that likes to tend to fight early a lot or uh, out jungle the jungler. So it's very interesting to see how Girl will pick this up. I think it's going to be more centered around Girl because Bruv has a really late centered comp. I think they can do a lot with the volley, but we will have to see.
Yeah, I would actually not be surprised to see a very heavy focus here towards the top lane from the side of guys in real life. Because Darius, pretty good into the enemy team here. He's pretty good into tanks. And when you've got a short range ADC, she's going to really struggle to kite him, especially when he has that ghost to catch up with the Vayne. Vel'Koz, a champion very much known for not having mobility. So definitely can both be abused here by the Darius. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them
Well,
try and get that Darius ahead.
I thought he was called Eyeball. Oh, sad. Looking here, you see both teams are starting red, so they're probably going for the full clear or red to blue side. Yeah, as you can see, they're both going for full clear actually. Very interesting.
Yeah, not something you really expect to see nowadays, but not too bad. Small trades coming out in this bottom lane. Trollzeri and Saboteur
As
using
you
the
can,
superior range.
as you can be expect, the Ashe is gonna be very aggressive in lane because Vayne is really weak early, at least till C6.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for Volley to full clear top lane and then go bot side. Because any Leona lane is a big kill lane. So if he comes with an early gank and snowballs this lane, it could be game over for Girl already.
Definitely big kill lane. The one thing you do have to be slightly concerned about is the fact you are leaving that Ornn all on his own against a Darius and a Kha'Zix. He's going to have to be very careful. Remember that he's playing weak side this game. And
Yeah, he
especially not
just
to forget
needs
Darius has Ghost.
he just needs 1.1k gold and build Ninja Taiba or plated steel caps and he should be fine. Since they're both physical damage.
That's true. Darius can put down a lot of true damage though. You have to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, that's true.
I think actually burning through a lot of his mana. But let's see how that goes. And the Scuttle Crab's probably going to be traded here. Dark Enclave going for that early bottom Scuttle before clearing the rest of his bottom jungle. You can see that actually vision pings are coming down towards that bottom bush from the side of Team Bruv. They know that potentially there is something happening here. Lulu has gone for the ward, realised that blue buff is up. You can see on the map, put a ward down so that they have vision of where Dark Enclave is going. Actually really good read from the side of Girl to do this, to try and work out when they are going to be ganked towards that bottom side. It's not really a question of if they're going to be ganked, it's a question of when. And now they'll have a very good idea of when. Bazooka Bob actually trading very heavily with Vink here, doing a lot of damage. Vink having to use that E to get away. The bleed will do quite a lot of damage. He does have those biscuits though.
I really love the orange skin. Ooh, finally new skin.
Yeah, actually, really nice skin. Preston actually rode up to the top there after pushing in that mid lane. He will lose a wave here to Skycold and allow Skycold, lose a wave to the tower and allow Skycold to back. And did not actually get anything from that roam, so actually quite a big loss for the side of Girl from that roam. Oh, Bazooka Bob actually pulls Vink in, does a lot of damage. But there's the engage with the Zenith Blade. He stunned up Zabator, uses the flash to try and get away. Flash falls from Ewok, does manage to get that slow. The E coming down from the Volley Bear. They will pick up that kill. It does go onto the Volley, which is not the perfect person to go on. Lots of damage coming out. Double kill onto the Volley Bear.
This was
And he will help him push
quite
this in.
greedy. Just stay from Girl Zoe right there. He should have probably just backed away.
Yeah, he is going to stay to help push in this wave because it's a bit unfortunate. Vayne very bad at pushing waves quickly, especially early. Volibear actually quite good at pushing waves, especially early. So they will push in that wave and be able to get back quite quickly. They do choose to do that instead. The dragon is worth noting. Dragon would gain them an early ocean, which is amazing, but would have lost them a lot of tempo on this map. I think they should have gone for the dragon.
I think that kill was actually better right there. If
Ooh, that's a lot
Volibear
of
is
damage from
quite
the
ahead,
Vink.
so
He
he could.
forces the flash out, but Bazooka Bob taking so many tower shots, but being put up to just over 100 health.
I think, to be honest, that Volibear can apply a lot more pressure right now than he could before. So he could actually just invade Kha'Zix and make plays in the
Yeah.
jungle.
For the dragon, I mean, like, after they got those 2 kills, they could have turned straight
Oh
towards doing
yeah,
that
no,
dragon,
yeah,
and they
that's
wouldn't have
true.
lost too much from it. Oh, a nice interrupt there from Fink, actually.
Oh, it's like for level 6, you can kill him.
Oh, he pulls in the Ornhorn. Nice interrupt
Ooh,
from
good E.
Bazooka Bob, and he will use that heal and flash. Well, the heal from the Q and the
No,
flash
don't
to get away, but
go.
Dark
It's
Enclave is
going back
coming
in.
in. He will get this stun down. He will do the percent health damage. That's a lot of damage being put down, but it's not quite enough. Especially not with just that aftershock proc. And Bazooka Bob able to walk out of that with almost no health.
Yeah, that's the situation where press attack is better in a 1v1.
Yeah, and we can see as well that Volibear is building towards those tank stats and doing more of that tank build. I'm not sure how much I really like that. Of course, the Mythic is very good um, still, but I don't know. What do you guys think in this game? How
I've
do you
never
feel about
quite
Volibear
liked.
going
I've
tank?
never quite liked Volibear tank in my opinion. Yeah, when I've played it and when I've played against it, it just doesn't feel strong. And with already having a Ornn and a Leona, which are quite tanky champs, I think this item is fine because it is a really good item. But maybe after this, you should probably get more bruiser type items, in my opinion, to get a little
Yes.
bit more damage and try to get ahead in this early slash mid game.
Yeah, in a game like this where you already have 2 very strong tanks to be in that front line, I do agree with that. It splits up where your damage is coming from to get a bit more damage onto that Volibear, especially when you get 2 kills early. When you're getting those early kills, it's the perfect time actually to think, wow, maybe I should go for a bit more of a damaging build.
Yeah, well, you would expect Syndra to go some flat magic ban, and Kha'Zix has already gone for the lethality, and if you go Sunfire, basically just make those items useless against you, so it does really make sense.
Oh, there's actually a big fight breaking out in this bot lane. A TP is coming down. The engage is coming out here. Skycold flashing forwards to catch out Zabator, and that burst is just amazing. Preston does flash over the wall to use that unleashed power and pick up 1 kill, but he will also die here with 2 kills going into the pockets of Skycold on the Vel'Koz.
Oh,
Absolute
top lane got a
disaster
kill
for the
right there
side
in the
of Girl,
1v1.
but Bazooka Bob picking up that kill in the 1v1, and that's silver linings for the side of Girl. You want your Darius to be strong.
This is what I want to see from Dark Enclave. He is ahead. He's invading the Kha'Zix and denying him XP and farm.
And
I think this
unfortunately,
is
that last
exactly
raptor
what he should
does
do.
die. But there you go. You can't deny everything.
Interested to see how Bruv will do this next Drake. I think it should be their priority to get objectives now and not throw away their lead.
Yeah, imagine if
think
they'd
if they
had
hang
that
on
first
to
Drake, though.
Yeah, I think if they play how they are doing right now and focus on objectives, I think they have a really good chance at winning this game. But we will have to see, of course.
Yep, they are 1,500 gold, or 1.7 thousand gold up right now. No, 1.8 thousand gold up right. They're just under 2,000 gold up right now. But of course, quite a lot of that gold is in the Volibear, not the person you particularly want it to be on, especially not when he's building towards those tank items. Guy called Dunclave and Ewok all here to try and pick up Preston. He does sidestep a lot of it, pushes every rest of Team Bravo away. Vink is on the way
Orange
down,
also.
calls the Ornhorn. Will he predict where Taco Tim goes? Gets the knock up into the Zenith Blade. The flash was used from the Kha'Zix, but there's the stun and the flash forwards into the knock up. There's the kill, actually getting picked up by Vink in
I
the
don't know
end.
what that flash was from Ewok. I think it was an accident, maybe, because he was already on it. Maybe he fought on the card.
Maybe he was trying to predict the flash, didn't realize the flash had already come down. Bazooka Bob now actually probably just going to try and run Vink down. The E is used. The Ghost is also being used by Bazooka Bob. He will be able to run after Vink. Darkenglaive is here, but he's taken down, and that will reset the Darius. And now he might just run down this Volley Bear as well. Tank stats not all that useful against the Darius. Does force the flash out of Volley Bear as well, picking up that kill on Vink. And Vink's flash. 2 flashes and a kill? Yeah.
It's really interesting that they didn't go for the Rift Herald there, Team Bro, after they killed the jungler. That would make more sense for them to do. Because they also don't really have a lot of siege power with their team. The only champion who could be good in the siege is Welcomes. So getting that Rift Herald could really help them break up that mid turret and open the map.
Yep, and that would be quite beneficial for them. Strong Ewok going to walk straight into Taco Tim's face and will just walk away. Not going to fall for anything there. Nice knock up from Vink. He will do a bit of damage to Bazooka Bob, but trading is going down. Gets the grass stack, but Bazooka Bob really loving to take these trades. Actually does win it in the end with the help from that heal and the bleed.
I think it's always worth a trade from Darius if you get the 5 stacks.
Yeah, when you are the Darius, you should realistically win these trades. See, pings were coming down towards that Herald, but Team Bruv deciding, actually, no, we don't want to do that. Taco Tim is trying to take the Grump, but maybe a bit caught out. Vink is really struggling up here into the Darius. Of course, it is a 2-kill Darius. Team Bruv
looking for kills. They have been
and there's the Solar Flare stunning 2 into the Volley Bear ult. That's a lot of damage down. They just take out the Zoe almost instantly. Ult was used from Zoe. Punky Boy now having to fight Kha'Zix in the 1v1 is just taken down. That isolation damage is just too much.
This is very unfortunate for Team Bruv. They could have probably just gotten a Drake for free if Vayne didn't die here. But I think they can actually contest it now.
The overchase does mean that this could be contested fairly easily. Oh, a nice pullback from Bazooka Bob to interrupt Vink's charge there. Does get all of the stacks down, will put down the heal. There's the flash rolls into the knock-up, and Vink does pick up that kill. Will the bleed be enough? It is enough to get that trade kill, meaning that Vink will lose out on a bit of CS and XP as well. Overall, still not too bad.
Greedy flash. I think he should have waited till the Ornn R part would have been over, so he could have flashed it and then killed him. I think he would have lived and gotten the kill, of course. Maybe he would have still died. Very interesting to see that he actually has built Stridebreaker instead of Core Drinker. You see most Darius players building Core Drinker these days, especially against tank teams. So it's probably more.
He wants that extra movement tool. I think, yeah. The extra engage tool, the extra movement to help run down, especially get around this Vel'Koz, get around this Vayne.
I like the Merc Beds buy from Darius here. It's
you
really
actually
good.
see Gil keeping this
it
tower.
I just haven't seen it a lot.
It is a Cloud Drake, everyone's favourite Drake. Oh, that's a lot of damage on the strong Ewok. Lots of ultimates thrown down, but that is a kill into the pockets of Gil right now.
The Ninja Tabi rush by the Leona is really interesting, in my opinion, here.
Yeah, there are 3 champions, though, that do a lot of damage with their auto attacks. Even Lulu does rely on her auto attacks for a lot of her damage early on.
But I don't.
They're trying to chase down the Kha'Zix.
she's
It's
not supposed to be too tanky either. I think the Merc Treads would just make her be able to
Yeah,
do
oh,
I
more in
lots
the
of
agree.
team
damage
fights.
coming down here. Gil just in their own jungle catching out the invade. Does force the flash out of press, but he will stay alive and get back to that mid lane.
You can see now that Team Bruv has kind of given away their lead. They are almost similar in gold now.
Girl is
I think
actually
now
ahead by
Team
1,000.
Girls actually ahead, yeah. So this is a very bad situation you want from Bruv.
And
Because you
if we
don't
look at
want
where that
them.
is, that's 2,000 gold in the top lane. Meanwhile, Team Bruv up in every other lane apart from support by just a little bit, but nothing really significant. I did say that they probably want to get this Darius ahead. They didn't gank him, but he did get ahead on his own. And that is going to be someone on the side lane that is going to be really hard to deal with.
Especially for Foley. If they don't have enough damage to finish him off, he can just heal and get the double reset off. So it's very difficult to gank a fat Darius as Tank Foley.
He's even got
And
those
Ornn,
Merc
of
Treads
course.
to reduce the amount of time that he'll spend stunned from Leona and Volibear, and potentially even the Vayne Condemn.
Yeah, I think the Merc Treads would be valuable here as well on the Syndra. Because Leona can just click ult and stun her and make her basically useless for a few seconds. And getting the stun, getting rid of that stun duration is really huge instead of that extra magic pan or versus 3 tanks.
I think Syndra is more focused on the early game than the late game team fights. But it
It's
would
just more towards
actually
this
be
mid game.
better, I agree.
Syndra does scale ridiculously well because of her passive. Oh, that is a combo out, but unfortunately there is just not enough people here from the side of Team Bruv. Then basically we're in a 2v4, and now Strong Ewok also probably going to get run down with the help of these slows from the Ashe. Funky Boy there actually using the Condemn to help save his support, but he's taking a lot of damage. That's the stun coming down and the Comet actually picking him up in return. Meanwhile, Bazooka Bob has just dropped this Rift Herald in the top lane. Will now run Vink, trying to put down enough damage, trying to just
This is
take down
probably
this
going to be
Ornn.
a kill
That's
for
so much damage onto the Ornn.
Bazooka Bob.
Meanwhile, Leona goes down in that bottom lane. Bazooka Bob is just walking down Vink, and that is just, that
It's
Darius is
actually
just out of
huge
control.
for Girl. They've won both top and mid bot, so they have prior on most lanes now and can probably get those drakes and try and getting those extra buffs to win the game.
That's
I
over
think what
4,000 gold lead.
Bruv should be looking for is picks, and they should really look for a idea to get rid of that Darius. I think
Yeah, they
as
really
long
need to
as
start
he's
picking up
there.
some of these bounties. Funky doing what he can does actually use that Q at the right time there to not get pulled in by Bazooka Bob. Team Bruv hanging around this mid lane, realize that they can't afford to have this tower drop right now. But Gala are putting a lot of pressure down onto it. We'll just turn around to take this Cloud Drake. Cloud Drake's not the thing that they want the most, but will scale incredibly well with the team wanting to run people down. But here's the
Here
engage.
goes
The
the
Crystal
TP for
Arrow did
one.
go down, but a TP does come out. Vink is here. Oh, Zabator is way out of position here
Classics
on his
looking
own.
for
The
the
Lulu
kill.
ultimate's thrown down, but that's a lot of damage into the Ashe, and Ashe is down. This is potentially Team Bruv's fight. They're running down the side of Girl. They're onto Troll Zoe. They're putting a lot of damage down into the Darius as well. Troll Zoe actually staying alive. Punky Boy really low on his own. Taco Tim manages to take him out. Is now onto Sky Cold, and Team Bruv has just fallen apart. They couldn't quite finish anyone after that first kill, and they're just getting run down. Our Dark Enclave on his own in the pit will just get picked up by the Darius. And that was just a case
Very
of Team
split.
Bruv not being on the same page when it came down to that chase. You could see some of them were going for Bazooka Bob, some of them going for Troll Zoe. They don't get anyone in the end, and it was an absolute
I
disaster.
think
Now
they
lose at
should have
least
all
2
went on the
turrets.
Darius. I think if they would have With the god on the Darius, it would have been huge for Team Bruv. I reckon he has a 800 bounty now?
Up to a 600 bounty, it puts him at
600.
900 gold for killing him.
Yeah.
Syndra also at a 550 bounty and Kazakh's 400 gold bounty. So killing any of them will just inject so much gold into your team right now.
That's
Please.
actually what you really wanted to a scaling comp, so they should really look for these shutdowns.
See, Lulu
I
actually
really
chose to
like
build
the
the Moonstone Renewer.
I really like the build from Kha'Zix there with the Divine Sun. The percent max HP it gives is really good
Oh,
against
but
tanks.
engaged from
And
Bazooka Bob, he's just put so much damage into Punky Boy, and Punky Boy's already down. Nothing that a cleanse can do to stop you from that damage. And they just run onto Sky Cold and Strong Ewok. And there's just so much damage. Darius now up to the maximum bounty, 1,000 gold if you can take him down, but you have to take him down to get that. Just Volibear and Ornn left to try and defend their base.
Yeah,
But
they
there's
should
not much they
definitely
can
give
do.
this up. Yeah.
They have to give up this tower, and they've got to be very careful not to die here, because without them as the front line, they could just lose this game right now.
I'm interested to see what Girl does. Are they going to reset here or are they going to go to Baron?
Yeah, they take that win. It looks like they're just potentially wanting to walk out. Oh, but they're waiting. They're going to see if they can catch someone. Actually, Vink stepping up a bit too close, pulled into Polyed, and that's the Ornn down already. It's only Ornn though. It's not quite enough to guarantee them that game, so they will back off yet again. Probably just going to go take this Baron, and then back and try and make the final push. Preston and Bazooka Bob actually waiting. They do have an incredible amount of burst between the two of them. And no one quite knows where they are. Punky Boy walking too far. There's a flash forwards into the instant kill. Still not choosing to try and end the game off of this. They're instead going to go towards this Baron. Pick that up. Make sure that they have that
I think
extra push.
I think by this point, we're all really close to winning. Their siege is way better than Team Bruv's. Also, they are quite behind now. The carries don't have enough items, or they don't have hit their power spikes yet. So I don't see a very bright future for Team Bruv here in this game.
Yeah, Girl have just been really on point with their rotations in these two games. They've been really on point with being where they need to be, getting the people ahead that need to get ahead. And we'll have to see how they decide to try and close out this game. I feel like they probably could have already, but now with the Baron buff, we've got to imagine that they'll be able to close out this game. Looks like they might be going for the slow, safe way of doing it, of pushing both that top and that bottom lane to just knock down
I
all of
think
the
that is best
inhibitors.
though, because if they give away their leads, they will probably suffer quite a lot from it.
You do want to be very careful with that Ornn, especially. He's actually not even level 13 yet. We don't have any Ornn items in the game. Because that gold lead will start to mean less and less the later into this game that we get. I think he's trying to clear out what he can from these minions, but it's not all that much. There's a stun actually put down onto Skycold into the ultimate from the Syndra, and that's one down already. Vink does call that ultimate, but the Call of the Forge God won't not be enough on its own, especially not with that tank Volibear there. Leona is here as well, but these are 3 tanks. Yeah. There's not much that the 3 tanks can do on their own. Vayne having to clear out those minions. That's one more tower down. Meanwhile, Ashe and Lulu are just pushing that bottom lane. Bazooka Bob trying to go in, gets condemned away. He's still coming in. Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes through. The entire team doesn't actually get anyone. Punky Boy is doing what he can to get away. He does cleanse, does not manage to get much. Will kill the Darius before getting taken down, and that is a big injection of gold. But meanwhile, Girl have pushed in both this top and bottom lane. They will pick up all of the inhibitors here. And that is a lot of pressure. Taco Tim actually jumping in, almost taking out Skycold despite not having that isolation damage. Will take out Skycold in the end, is jumping back in, but Punky Boy just runs him down. That's an extra 900 gold onto the Vayne. A lot of gold now being put into this Vayne. Girl have to be very careful with this push. It is just Vayne left alive. He has to be careful. Preston does have ultimates up. The unleashed power could do a lot of damage. Zabutor is just autoing down this tower with the help of the Baron minions. There's not too much they can do. Punkyboy goes forwards, does get the flash, and does get the kill, but Preston will pick him up in return. And we can see that this game is pretty much all but over at this point. GG's and Nevermind's coming out in the chat. Surrender vote actually coming through. Um, Team Bruv realizing this will be too hard to defend against. You can't defend against the Kazakhs trying to backdoor or the Darius just running in and ending the game. And they can't really contest the Dragons while they have all of those inhibs and towers down. So second game also going to the side of guys in real life. And what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about this game? Who do you think really stood out to you? Who would you give potential MVPs to?
I think Bazooka Bob did really nicely. He got the lead early. He executed the lead very nice. Um, he applied a lot of pressure top. So I think, of course, against the Ornn, it's quite usual, as you would say. I think Team Bruv actually played really well in the early game. I think if they didn't make so many mistakes around the map in the mid game, they actually had a really nice shot of shutdowning that Darius and containing it before he was too strong. So I think Bazooka Bob really played nice, but I think Team Bruv also played nicely. They just had to execute that mid/early game better.
Yeah,
Also,
Team Bruv. They they were really good at finding picks as a team, as a 4-man or 3-man in the early stages of mid game and early game. But the problem was that they didn't really get anything else from it. They didn't do anything after they got the kills. And the girl just punished on the other side of the map. If they got kills bot lane and began stacking dragons, got the bot turret, and then swapped to top lane to shut down the Darius afterwards, I think this could be a one game for Team Bro.
yep, and we actually do have the at most up-to-date table at the moment, and because we do know what a few of these final weeks matches will be because of teams dropping out of the league. But that happens. We do have two series left to play, one in both the Ocean League and one in the River League, both of which will actually decide who takes first place in both leagues. Um, Everything is currently in the hands of the teams playing the games. If they win both of their games, they will be top. Um, World Genesis in the Ocean League will be playing Vengeance Esports. Yes, to get to pick up a game. They didn't get to play all of their games. Are a strong team. Haven't managed to really see that strength in gameplay yet. We'll have to see how those two games go. If World Regenesis manage to pick up one or two games, it does mean that World Regenesis will take that first place as they do hold the 2-0 against guys in real life. However,
Underdogs.
if World Regenesis do drop both of those games, if Vengeance Esports manage to pull that upset and win them both, it does mean that guys in real life will yet again hold on to the trophy for the CLW League Ocean League, which I'm not sure near the start of this, after the first series between guys in real life and World Regenesis, anyone was really expecting. Meanwhile, when we look over to the River League, we do have SAS Desert versus Madly Mediocre still to play. Two very good teams in this league. Madly Mediocre having to give up two wins because of not being able to play 1 week. Potentially could have been anywhere between 3 and 5 points right now. Could have been vying for that first place. However, it does mean that we are down to Madly Mediocre being, if they win both of their games, they will end up as second, holding that 2-0 against SAS Desert. If SAS Desert win both of their games, they will be in first place, overtaking TLH. If we get a 1-1, it does mean that we need a tiebreaker match between TLH and SAS Desert, who went 1-1 previously. So we'll have to see how those games play out. I think we should have two very hype matchups for this final week. What do you guys think? Is there one that you're particularly looking forward to? Is there anything that you really want to see from these games next week?
Underdogs. I think it'd be very interesting if Vengeance Esports actually won, since they haven't gotten a point yet. I actually really like Vengeance Esports. Their mindset is more of a fun side than a win side, so it should be interesting because from what have I seen, WAE has always been dominant with the map control and the rotations. So it's interesting to see if Finnish esports can pick it up or make some sort of strategy against. So I'm actually very interested in the picks that they are gonna play.
Yes.
So I'm hoping for a Teemo top lane. Let's pray.
Teemo top lane, let's go. You know what? I'm hoping for a Teemo support. Let's go. What counts as an ADC more than someone that can blind them?
You could also just
Uh,
play a mage top lane, but like yeah.
yeah,
Or
you know
just
what?
have to.
Play Graves Teemo bot lane. Make it absolutely hell for the enemy ADC to do anything. Just blind them at all points.
No, the Maokai Soraka. That's the good one.
Oh my god. Sounds horrible. I do hope at some point we'll get to see a Rel Tarek, but I'm starting to think that might not be possible. Um, but yeah,
Solo queue.
as we can see, we don't have a single team that was able to pick up every win, so the league is not absolutely dominated by one team in either of the brackets. It's actually been fairly close. I do think as well, it doesn't feel like any of these games were just unwinnable from either side, or any of the series were completely like unwinnable. Um,
I think these two games were way spicier. It's like kind of like river brackets.
they're, these were closer games, yeah. I really hope we have some close games between Vengeance and World Regenesis, and I really hope the first game, at the very least, I hope the first game goes to Vengeance, so that the final game still means, uh, or still decide who wins the league. But
We will see.
anyway, yeah, I will try and make sure that me or Yoria or both of us is casting for the final few games because I think we should try and do it if possible.
I am also free because I don't have a match next week.
Perfect. I think we already know where one of the games or when one of the games is. Let me have a look. Yes, Madly Mediocre against SAS Desert will be Wednesday at 6:30 GMT. I should be able to do that. This
That's gonna
may
be
be very
fun.
last minute me rushing, but we'll have that one live then, so we'll know the winner of the river bracket, or if we have another set of games to play by the end of Wednesday. I don't know when World Regenesis versus Vengeance will be just yet. We'll have to wait and see. And I'll do a little thing on the state of the league at the very end. We'll give a little announcement or something.
You,
But
sh-
the
you
long
should
story short is
you
it
should
should be continuing. I think we have enough people that want to continue it, help pick up the mantle, and continue. So we should be able to, and I will still be here doing things, even if it's not hosting every single game and trying to get everything in. Next time. That's what I like to see. Next Punky Boy says next time they'll win. So
you should probably call the mods your goon squad, because then you can call the goons in to do your work.
my goon squad. No, they should be like they'd be like the fish. We got the water theme going on. It needs to be something water related.
Water guns.
I don't know, the seahorses that doesn't
The
really sound
seals.
exciting.
The crabs.
The crabs,
Go get 'em, my
the
crabs.
manatees.
Just play crap away. You're right.
But yeah,
Simple.
I think for next league as well, I'm gonna try and get a team together and I can be like coach and do stuff and maybe that will make me more interested in league again. I don't know. We'll find out.
Make fun come
But
like Tarek Real bot lane.
Tarek Rail bot lane, yeah, come on. It's gotta
Dreams,
be a thing.
dreams.
That's a team. I'm not gonna play in the team. I mean, I could play in a team, but at the same time, meh. Anyway, we're just Preston wants to play against me. Ah,
We're a bunch of bambling baboons.
Bambling Baboons, exactly. I haven't played in ages. The last time I played ADC after not playing for like 3 weeks. Entered every game,
That's
absolutely hated
the
it.
the pentakill though.
Sup, Prodigy. I mean, yeah, I won't blind pick it if I pick it in an actual game. Because there's no way you ever want to play it into Lulu. Lulu or Ash, both of which are like, you should never play it into either of them. But yeah,
But I do have to leave. It was fun casting again
yep,
for the second time.
it was very fun.
I hope,
We'll see
I hope
everyone later in the week, Wednesday at earliest, or Wednesday at latest, maybe before if the other game gets arranged for some time before. But thanks everyone for coming and watching. Thanks for being a part of the league, and it will continue, even if me and Yuria are stepping down a little bit from the limelight and doing everything. So do hang around, see where everything goes, and keep being great. See ya.
later.